Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I had to start with this from Kenny. I thought this was a great post. For those who missed the Bitcoin train back in the day, you have a chance to catch the XRP train today. XRP train is fast, low fee, eco-friendly, adopted by international banks, and not a security. You know, the difference between Bitcoin and XRP is this. Bitcoin was the beta test coin. It got us to where we are right now. But XRP is what's gonna move the world's money. It's not a security, and we know Ripple was just meeting with Trump again over the summer. I think we're right back to where we left off under Trump's previous administration. I think everything is now gonna push full steam ahead because we are also on the verge of regulations that are gonna lead to regulatory clarity. We're on the verge of the banks getting involved with XRP, getting involved with crypto as well. This comes from Jacob King. Digital assets will undoubtedly dominate the financial world in the future, with blockchain technology taking center stage. However, much like AOL or MySpace faded into obscurity after the internet boom, Bitcoin is headed for the same fate. It is sustained entirely by market manipulation and insiders, lacking any genuine utility beyond gambling. Once regulators step in to address fraud and the inevitable collapse unfolds, the only tokens that will survive will be those driven by real-world use cases rather than hype or flashy marketing. And that's what's going on. The hype around Bitcoin right now is at a new all-time high. And I think once regulations get here and the world pushes towards a more regulated, how can I put it, future, I think Bitcoin is going to become irrelevant. It's not going to go to zero. It's just not going to be relevant like it is right now. People are going to lose interest in it because all of a sudden you're going to have cryptocurrencies talked about all over the mainstream media news that are actually solving a problem in the world, and they will be part of the new financial system. This comes from Jack the Rippler. Breaking: Binance is already blocking European users from receiving USDT. Europe starts to delist USDT. RLUSD will be the standard for every stablecoin transaction. I don't know where this is going with Tether, but once Tether starts to really plummet down, it is taking Bitcoin with it. This could be the black swan that everyone was expecting going into 2025. 21 shares market outlook suggests that Tether exiting EU due to non-compliance has been anticipated, meaning institutions have been expecting this to happen. So if the institutions were already expecting this, maybe it won't be such of a deep black swan event as everyone thought. But you know what's going to happen next? Tether's going to be pushed out of the United States. Then it's going to be pushed out of the UK, and it's going to be pushed out of other countries. And eventually Tether is going to go to zero. And Bitcoin is going to plummet down like never before. And even the narrative around Bitcoin right now is changing. Epic fail. Japan says Bitcoin is too volatile. The plan for strategic reserve was rejected. And they're not coming back. Japan is pushing ahead with XRP. You know, these Bitcoin maxis, they think like these countries are wanting this Bitcoin strategic reserve. What it is some Bitcoin holders that are inside those governments are pushing for this to happen so it could pump their bags. But here in the United States, talk to anyone outside of crypto about the United States buying up Bitcoin and using it as a strategic reserve, you know what they always say? We need to bump up our oil reserve. We need to make sure that we replace all of that oil that Biden was getting rid of while he was at the White House. Or they want us buying gold and going to a gold-backed currency because the rest of the world is already headed in that direction. No taxpayer outside of crypto or any Bitcoin holder, anyone outside of being a Bitcoin holder, they don't care about this reserve at all. Most people think it's the dumbest idea they ever even heard of. Russia uses Bitcoin to avoid sanctions. So when Russia's telling you outright that they're using Bitcoin to evade sanctions, what do you think is going to happen? Of course, this is going to be looked at by the Department of Justice, and Tether is already under investigation as well by the United States. None of this is looking good going forward. Breaking: BlackRock sold $188.7 million worth of Bitcoin yesterday. The questions arise. Why are they doing this? And what will happen to Bitcoin? This is the biggest sell-off ever. Wait until Biden sells off all of the U.S. crypto holdings on his way out the door in January. That's going to be that's going to most likely tank the market for a day or two. But again, we are not Bitcoin holders. I think XRP most likely won't even be affected by that. Maybe it'll pull back, but maybe we will already be decoupling away from Bitcoin by the time that happens. If it happens. Most people are expecting it already because Biden's going to try to do whatever he can. Whatever Trump likes, Biden's going to do the opposite. But I still think Bitcoin has one more big run up in it. I keep saying that because I am expecting that one last push up before it comes crashing down. Crypto's in a multi-year bull market, defying Fed-induced volatility. Despite short-term dips, rising institutional adoption, ETF flows, and blockchain innovation fuel unstoppable momentum. If we are going into a multi-year bull market, I'm expecting that to turn into a utility run. I'm thinking that utility will be driving the price of these utility-driven cryptocurrencies. ISO is also going live in 2025. That happens in November. But a lot of catalysts are going to lead up to that. You know, I'm expecting tokenization to start to pick up a lot of acceleration. That's going to drive the price of a lot of these cryptocurrencies that their networks are geared towards tokenization, like XLM, HBAR, a few others, XRP as well. That could give us that gradual upward movement for XRP. RLUSD is going to gain momentum over time. That's also going to push the price of XRP even higher. So everything going forward looks great for XRP and utility because I think regulations are going to help with the utility run. When this goes live, SWIFT will end and the power of Western sanctions will die because the bank willed it. The Fed has been an observer to this, and surely, given the dominance at the BIS, Bank of International Settlement, deeply involved in this creation. You know, I just did a video where I talked about ending the Fed. Well, people said the Fed is the most powerful central bank in the world, but it's not. The BIS is the strongest bank in the world. They're the central bank of all central banks. And what are they doing right now? They said that if SWIFT cannot keep up with the shift, that they will just push ahead with or without SWIFT. The BIS does not care. The Bank of International Settlement could care less about SWIFT. They're pushing ahead with XRP. Project Mbridge, which they're showing right here, is now BRICS, that new BRICS payment solution that they came up with. That is actually Project Mbridge. XRP is part of that. Interledger Protocol plus XRP equals Unified Ledger and the Finnet. Again, every single project that the Bank of International Settlement comes up with, they are utilizing XRP. They always saw XRP as the future. But Interledger Protocol is the technology that's going to push us into the Finnet. And if you look at the Finnet, it was introduced earlier this year. Many forgotten about it. But it ties in with blockchain, drones, 3D printing, virtual reality in the metaverse, Internet of Body, Internet of Things, robots, AI, everything around that. It's like one massive economy. There's going to be so many payments happening. And this is the future. This is what they've seen. The elites see this as where we are going. And you're invested in this. And everybody wants to sell their XRP. I'm telling you right now, anybody that sells their XRP too soon is going to miss out on generational wealth. You can easily get passive income without ever selling any of your XRP. You think Bitcoin was something? Wait till you see the gains that you're going to get off of your XRP if you continue to hold it. And it's not just XRP, it's XLM, XDC. The digital shift is happening around trade as well. IOTA, Algo, ADA, HBAR, QNT. This is the future. And if you're going to diversify, I would stay within ISO 222. Ready for your mind to be blown. Donald Trump revealed on Joe Rogan the only reason we're still paying an income tax in America is because U.S. politicians are paid off by foreign countries. You should be furious. In the early 1900s, they switched over stupidly to an income tax. And you know why? Because countries were putting a lot of pressure on America. We don't want to pay tariffs. Believe me, they control our politicians. If you look at the kind of numbers that these guys make then and now, we are all literally paying an income tax because U.S. politicians are taking bribes from foreign countries to enrich themselves. Now you see why Trump wants to go back to the tariffs. Get rid of the income tax. And it makes sense. These people, they go to Washington, right? They have 2 nickels in their pocket. Their salary is $200,000 a year. And they're walking out of Washington with $140 million in their pocket. And you know who's paying for it? Us. And it's time to get rid of the income tax. It's also time to get rid of the Fed. If you got rid of those two entities, this country would push ahead like never before. People would be opening up businesses. Businesses would be moving back to the United States. On top of that, people would be remodeling their homes. They'd be buying their first home. But you know, we are taxed every step of the way. And it's time to get rid of that. But these politicians, they're so greedy. You know, look at what we just went through for the last 4 years. We know all that money that was going over to Ukraine was getting laundered. A lot of that was happening through Tether as well. I think Tether picked up where FTX left off. That's what I think really happened. But I don't think Tether has a future once regulations are put in place. I don't even know what's going to happen with Bitcoin once regulations are put in place. I think we're going to watch a massive shift like we've never seen before. And that's another reason I don't think the U.S. is going to have a Bitcoin reserve. They know the problems with Tether. They're already investigating Tether. Plus, Trump doesn't like anything tied to China. And Bitcoin is tied to China. I think Trump is going to push ahead with U.S.-based cryptocurrencies. And I think it's going to be, we are going to become the biggest crypto hub that you have ever seen. And I think it's all going to start early next year. We're going to most likely see that utility run that people were talking about for years. I think that's going to start in 2025 as well. And who knows how long that's going to last. I think the 4-year cycles are going to end. Also, I think utility's going to end the 4-year cycle. Anybody waiting for 2025 and Bitcoin, they're going to be disappointed. Because I think Bitcoin's future hangs in the balance with Tether. Plus, you could already see the narrative shifting. Japan's never going to have a Bitcoin reserve. They're too involved with XRP. Other countries, they don't even care about Bitcoin because they see the shift happening. Retail investors don't see it. That's who you're arguing with all day long over on X. But countries, they know what's coming. They're working with the BIS. They're working with the IMF. They're working with the World Economic Forum. Even the BRICS, I think they're accelerating us into the new financial system. And again, they're using what used to be Project Mbridge, which has a lot of ties to XRP. Plus, look at all the rails Ripple has already set up all around the world, inside the BRICS, inside the EU, the UK, other countries have Ripple rails inside. Even the countries that wanted to join the BRICS have Ripple rails. The United States has Ripple rails. This is so massive, and people still are not seeing it. You need to know what you're holding. Otherwise, you are going to sell too soon. But until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and we will get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.